Good morning or good afternoon, depending on what part of the country you're in, and welcome to this week's Take 10 on seasonal decorating. 5 easy ways to get your client in the mood for winter. Hi, Jackie. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing? Hello, everybody.
Are these not the most adorable playhouses that you've ever seen?
Oh my gosh, yeah, they're just so adorably cute. I would move into any one of
I
them. It
know.
reminds me of the Madcap Cottage guys,
Uh,
little cottage in New
ex-
York. So adorable. I mean, when you change.
oh, wait a minute. I'm not the only one. Somebody else is saying they can't see anything.
Oh, they can't see it.
Let's
Oh,
see.
we've
Now,
had
wait a
nothing but
minute. Maybe it's
technical.
technical difficulties on
Oh
my
wait,
end.
mine came up now. Mine has come up.
Okay,
Did
Wanda,
everybody
can
else
you
come up?
see? Don't you love it?
Oh, good Lord in heaven.
Technology, Lord, and we're pretty good at it. Who
Yeah,
would
and
know?
believe it or not, we've been on here half an hour messing with this, trying to get it going right. So,
Okay, let's start all over. So
all
welcome
right.
everybody to Seasonal Decorating. 5 easy ways to get your clients in the mood for winter. So add some texture.
Seasonal decorating now is such a great opportunity for us to go into our clients' homes and refresh their homes seasonally and create opportunities for selling new product, updating their product, allowing them to have two very distinct looks for winter, fall, winter, and then spring, summer, and really sort of get them in the mood. And people are wanting to refresh for the holidays anyway, so I think it's a great niche. But texture really is a way that you can add that cozy, comfy, warm, and inviting atmosphere that you want during those colder months. And what comes to mind for me immediately, of course, and I'm sure you too, Deb, is fur. Whether it's real fur or faux fur, that just says Dr. Zhivago and just, richness. And I
Absolutely.
mean, that's one of my favorites. Do you
Uh,
agree?
Oh my, yeah, my Winter Palace. I saw that for the first time on the big screen when I was probably about 10 years old, and it still is in my head today as a memory. So, and I have to tell you that several years ago I did a window treatment for a client, and she had these vintage fur collars, faux fur collars, and rabbit fur collars, and we made tie backs out of them for drapery panels for the winter.
Oh,
We just
gorgeous.
attached some really pretty velvet ribbon, and she had these sort of grayed, fluffy rabbit fur ones, and we tied her draperies back. So absolutely, I'm all about fur and texture, and kind of adds that little bit hint of glamour here.
Right. Even if you are adverse to purchasing real fur products, repurposing is a great way to bring that old stuff to life. I mean, I've got an old full-length fox coat from the 80s, disco era, and every year I look at that thing in the closet and I'm like, why don't I make a throw out of that thing or something, or pillows or whatever, because I'm never going to wear it again. So that fur that's sitting in your closet that you haven't pulled out forever or that your clients own, and now it's not appropriate to wear fur out, but you can certainly reuse that for them and make some pillows or a throw.
And I have to say, by some of the images that we're showing, it is really there. It's not a heavy look. I mean, this room looks like could be in Santa Monica or San
Right.
Fran or Arizona, but that fur throw just kind of, like you said, warms it up for the winter. And what
Well,
a great way
yeah,
to back it with that Pendleton piece.
don't you just love that? And we talked about Pendleton last time in our tribal webinar, and here's a great way to use those woolens and just add some more texture to it. It's all about layering here. It's not about necessarily wiping out everything they have. It's about going with their color scheme and everything and just adding that layer of comfort on top.
Or I'm in love with this, the whole cable knit thing. I think that another thing, talking about repurpose and recycle, why not see what you can find in sweaters at Goodwill, in your client's closet, wherever it is, and cut them up and make pillows
Exactly.
out of them. How cute. Or, the mix, love the leather, love the fur, love the plaid. How fun. Scraps that
Well,
are
and when you're presenting your client with this complete winterizing package like this, how beautiful is that? Here's what we can do for you for winter, and it's going to completely change the look of your house and give you that refresh that you need.
So I had to plug in these antlers because I'm a huge antler fan. By the way, this is basically dipped in lacquer paint and then spray painted with the gold paint.
Deb, you love this picture.
I know. This was at Atlanta Market. And talk about seasonal decorating. I recall that my mother and her friends used to do the whole summer scenario. You know, you put the plissé summer blankets on, you took them off, you put the heavy woolen blankets on. She switched out all her bedrooms twice a year.
Our friend Linda Quintero Davis, who has Focal Point Styling blog, she did a post, and she literally does exactly what you're talking about. She completely restyles her house for fall, winter, and then takes everything out and restyles it. And it's mostly, she's a stylist, so it's mostly accessories. It's not soft goods. But if you go to her blog, Focal Point Styling, it's a great example on how impactful it is and what you can offer to your client, you know, winter, summer.
Absolutely. As a package, not onesie twosies. So a couple of sneak peeks. Over on the right is some woven throws. These are by a company called Woven Works that's coming into High Point as a newcomer next month's market. So you're getting a sneak peek at some of their new line of knitted throws. And then on the left, could be a rug, but actually this is a wall hanging. And so it's also about the typical throw, decorative pillow, table runners, those kinds of things you think of as far as adding texture. But what about putting texture on your walls as art, you know, textiles as wall art?
If you have a stark contemporary interior for winter, I mean, that will totally warm that up. You know, maybe you take down a piece of contemporary art and put something else up that has that warmth and the texture. And you know what else this makes me think of is just those heirloom pieces that you have. Maybe grandma, you know, crocheted you a blanket or something years ago and it sits unseen, you know, in a box somewhere. Maybe turn that into something that either becomes like a piece of wall art or a pillow or a throw.
Of course, you can't talk about adding texture without talking about the mixings of the fabulous velvets that are in the market right now with satins or even linens. I'm going to show you a couple examples later on in the next slide. But I love this again. There's my antlers as a candelabra.
I know. And don't we all wish we could like go to bed next to that fireplace?
Satin sheets. Remember in the 80s we used to have satin sheets. But here,
well, we got to remember too, Deb, that texture is shine and luster, and you know, it's not.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
It's not just a tactile, like nubby feel. You know, the sheen is also a texture.
So here you've got a quilted velvet pillow, and then they did a frayed linen band on it. And actually, this is from Etsy.
I love it.
Isn't that a great pillow? And then on the right in the animal, this is Kevin O'Brien. If you're not familiar with Kevin O'Brien's studio, he does some amazing pillows. He has a Argyle Panne velvet that's to die for. This is one of his animal prints. This is Etouffee Marquea up on the top with the quilted coverlet, and then don't you love the interpretation of embroidered lace, that whole sort of eyelet feel, but done with velvet. So you, again, the satin stitch embroidery playing off of the soft velvet. Jackie and I both love this linen slipcover. I love, love, love this. This is linen, and don't you just love the French knots around the edging? But we put this in because it's like, don't forget that you think of sometimes of slipcovers as summer things, but why not winter?
Absolutely, you know, and especially if you're slipcovering hard chairs and you want to add that layer of luxury to it and soften it up, make it more cozy.
Right. Or think of different materials that you can use to add that texture. On the top, these are Global Views. These are some of their new pillow line. And then on the bottom here, they did some interesting linens and French tickings, probably remnant pieces, and did a patchwork on an ottoman. And then last but not least, we talked about this in one of our Take 10s, but I wanted to put another slide in. It's like, why not take a really wonderful textured fabric and put it on a piece of furniture? So here you have this sort of Bombay dresser drawer that has really wonderful lines, and they put an embroidered Suzanne on the face of it. And I mean, now that makes a statement. And then number 2, throw in a bit of bling. Well, Jackie, you're in Vegas. You're all about the bling.
Well, for me, I mean, that's sort of the holiday accent of winterizing without going like all Santas and reindeers. And, before you're in the mood, I think anything with a little bit of shine and stuff gives you sort of that winter glint. For us on the West Coast, we don't have any snow. Winter and fall are a little more formal. You're entertaining maybe a little bit more, and just gives it a little bit more of a formal vibe to the room.
Well, and we're all wearing sequins now too, like in the pillow on the left. Why not bring it into your house? Or on the left, these are actually trims from a company called Bellagio Enterprises, and we saw them in IWCE last year. These are actually sheets that are iron-on adhesive, so you can cut these as borders, or they actually come out, if I'm not mistaken, out of not only the apparel but the jewelry industry, because how they're like making cuffs, for example, the rhinestone cuffs and things. But imagine this in details in window treatments or on decorative pillows, and then also by the yard, some of their really wonderful crystal rhinestone trims. And I also love the mix of the nail heads with the rhinestones, kind of giving that little added bling.
And one of my favorite sources, too, that has very similar product and unbelievably inexpensive is products from around the world. And they sell to the trade, and they have very small minimums. But again, it's right out of the clothing industry, and just huge, huge offerings, thousands and thousands of different embellished trims and things like that. So these are great sources.
With holiday decorating, I think the more sophisticated approach is doing the silvers and the golds, or the pale blues and the silvers, or, as Jackie said, all about layering. You've got the sequin runner, but you've got it mixed with lace, and then you've got a linen cloth underneath it. And it's just a very sophisticated look.
And yet comfortable and accessible.
On the lower right, the pillow is actually a pillow from a pillow line that comes out of the haute couture industry, Jacob Scheffler, and they do some amazing, amazing pillows. They actually have a pillow subscription series, which I think is really a dynamic idea, and meaning that you sign up, you fill out a very detailed personality profile, get what your style is all about, and 4 times a year they send you a pillow in the mail that fits your personality, and it's sort of sight unseen. Open the box and you're surprised. I think that's kind of an interesting little take on it. And at the top, these are 2 tiebacks with really wonderful chunky crystals, one black onyx, one these are from Sacco Hesslian, and they're gorgeous. Again, if you have straight panels, why not buy a couple of really wonderful tiebacks and tie them back for the holidays?
Well, and that goes along with what you're talking about with your grandmother's mink cups. I mean, tiebacks are something you can change out easily, and especially with the simplicity of panels now, you can do seasonal sort of upgrades to your drapery.
A couple of other ways to bling it up. The pillows in the lower right are actually laser cut metallic faux leathers. These are from Norriston. And at the top, that's a Loli. You might know them as an area rug company, but this is one of their new fall offerings, sequined and silvery metallic feathers or plumes. And then on the left, the fabric by the yard is actually all sequined fabric, again from Jacob Scheffler.
Ooh la la.
Yeah.
That's very Hollywood glam. But I mean, to me, that also says warm and cozy in a strange Vegas way. But
And then number 3, pump up the volume.
A lot of us are selling bedding, but we are not selling really sort of the foundation of the bed. And we're losing thousands and thousands of big bucks to bedding companies and high-end companies that are selling bed linen. If you don't want to do it independently, you can go through companies like Eastern Accents that has the full top of the bed lineup down to the mattress covers, the down pillows, the alternative pillows, feather beds, feather fritters, and literally, on a king-size bed in a high-end residence, that's $5,000 worth of product, just that, before you ever get to the actual bed covering.
And they're going out and buying it anyway. So a couple of sources for you if you're talking down in feather, definitely Eastern Accents. I would also look at Down Incorporated. And when you look at them online, they look like they're a retail catalog. They're out of Michigan, but they have a wholesale program. And I've ordered for years, that's where I've gotten all of my down comforters duvet inserts. They also do custom sizing, as does Eastern Accents. And then I'd also look at American Duvet. As Jackie said, bottom line is start selling the underpinnings to the bed.
Yeah, I mean, you're going in there with this beautiful bed setting, and, all you have to do is get those resources from these companies that we've mentioned or a company of your choosing with a catalog and allow your client then to purchase that there, because we're leaving that on the table for them, and then they've got to go out and find it.
Right.
Chances are, if you're giving them a full bed package, with a comparable product that they're going to find elsewhere, and you can offer several different package price points, they're going to purchase through you rather than going to that trouble of finding it on their own.
And Down Incorporated, actually, that's how they lay out their catalog, is they show you the different price points and tell you what the differences are, in stitching and thread counts and things like that. So it's all done for you. It's a no-brainer.
And it also shows your expertise in that product and that you can talk to them knowledgeably about the different contents of down and feather down combinations and everything else.
Number 4, toss a rug over it.
This one is one of my favorite tips that I have used for years and years. We in the West, most people have stone floors out here, some wood, and a lot of carpet, wall-to-wall carpet. And nothing is more boring in a room than wall-to-wall carpet, in my estimation. But it is a great opportunity then to throw a nice, less expensive accent rug down and, really kind of change up immediately the look of that room and give it a whole new vibe. So whether it's for summer or for winter, I think layering rugs is a great technique, and it's an easy way for you to really create a giant impact for your client. It's one of those things where you can take out some rugs on consignment, bring them over to the client, put them on the floor, and show them exactly how great it looks, and it's an easy sell. Cha-ching, and it's an item that maybe you wouldn't have thought about in your soft arsenal of product.
Right.
But it really makes an impact.
I have to point something out on the left-hand picture here. First of all, I like the room with the leather sofa and the leather wingback. Notice the drapery rod, or it's actually, and then they've actually probably run wiring through it, and they're using rod brackets, and they're hanging LEDs down to show the gallery off. Another use for drapery hardware. Love it.
And see, and you are the person who would figure that out.
Oh, love Mongolian furs when it comes to rugs. In these images in the grays with the Mongolians, and then on the right is actually a cowhide that has a metallic film on it. And actually where you can purchase these for your clients very reasonably, would you believe, is on eBay. Put in cowhides and you'll be surprised what comes up.
And, I mean, there's so many uses for that, too. Throw it over the back of a sofa. Throw it over a table.
Right. They're a couple $100.
Yeah, you can really make that go a long way.
And number 5, let them sit on it, which is, we all know, trending now, been trending for the last year and a half, is the whole idea of poofs and ottomans, and they've kind of gone from their little squishy into much more structured, actually more accent furniture pieces than where they started. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely, and I think here the opportunity is that, we all need extra seating during the holidays. Again, your clients are entertaining, they want a big open space during the summer, but then it's like, well, I'm going to have 15 people over and my room seats 8 comfortably. This was a way to really pump up the volume on the seating quotient in that room and also bring in some of those more cozy, winterized looks.
From whether it's Mongolian fur to the Moroccan leather poof and metallics to the typical kilums that have been cut up. And again, here's another repurposing ability. Have your workroom, make those for you. That's really easy. Or in the lower left, this is V Home, and they do a really nice tailored sturdy ottoman, and here what you've got is leather and embroidery mixed with the accent cording on it. It's just a great piece, and the price point is very good.
And this is something, too, that you can offer as the dual purpose, because you can also offer a slipcover for that for the next season.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're selling a winter little stool or poof, then maybe suggest, this is a great thing where you just zip the slipcover right over it, and then you restyle it when you come back for the next season.
Mm-hmm. And certainly capitalize on the deep tufting craze that's out there, whether it's in this sort of slip-covered piece, which I love, or the diamond tufting in the round poof in the orange on the bottom. Love it.
I feel like you should be sitting on there, like putting on your diamond slippers. I mean, they're so like Hollywood glam and just great for a closet, great for the bedroom. And that's really going to cozy up whatever. Throw a tray on the top of that round one. And
speaking of slip covers, I love that sort of Aran sweater ones. Buy a throw and make a slip cover for somebody's poof.
Love how it's got waistbands.
Exactly.
I
love
the bottom,
it.
And it's like you just put a sweater on your furniture. I just think that's awesome.
It's awesome.
And the flowery one is I believe Surya. And here's playing with texture. The color says fall, the flowers say spring, and the texture says, sort of like comfy winter. So it's playful. These are just fun things that aren't maybe meant to be permanent fixtures in the room. But you can put it away in your storage closet and pull it out the next winter and, reset your house.
Thank you. We hope we've gotten you in the mood for winter. Also want to remind you that on October 8th, Jackie will be doing her quick sketching class online for any of those of you that are interested in really learning how to do quick sketching and renderings for your clients.
And I hope you enjoy the first days of fall.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to enjoy it at the pool.
Happy weekend, everyone.
Bye-bye.